Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, George Harris joins us. He's the chairman of Nevadans for Sound Government. He's here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Washington's reckless, irresponsible spending is costing Nevadans plenty, and Senator Catherine Cortez Masto has also voted for spending that's even more reckless, allowing COVID relief checks to go to convicted criminals in prison, including the Boston Marathon bomber, a Michigan sex abuser, murderers, and drug dealers, and voting to let COVID checks go to illegal immigrants. Tell Senator Cortez Masto to start voting against reckless and wasteful spending to stop inflation.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
With Nevada's only transplant center and verified burn center, the science is here. With award-winning cardiologist and the state's only dedicated heart failure clinic, the talent is here. With Nevada's most advanced robotic surgery, the technology is here. And with the Silver State's only designated pediatric trauma center, hope is here. All because we are here. UMC.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program George Harris. He is chairman of Nevadans for Sound Government. Pleasure to have you back on the program, sir.
Sam, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So, latest poll coming out from the Reno Gazette-Journal shows Steve Sisolak moving further ahead of Joe Lombardo. Your thoughts on that?
Look, facts are facts, and as much as I hate to admit this, I'm a big Lombardo guy, but Sisolak's got great commercials.
He also has $15.5 million. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, but you know, Lombardo's got a sugar daddy, and he's got money too, and you know, the campaign really starts Labor Day, so let's not throw the towel in today.
No, I'm not suggesting we throw in any towels, but I'm just saying that's the result of a poll. And you're right, it used to be Labor Day was the start of political season. This political season started right after the primary in June.
That's true.
Have you ever seen the kind of money being spent in Nevada that's being spent so far?
Never. It's actually offensive. It's actually offensive. You're in a market where arguably there's only 3 million people in the whole state, and they're spending this kind of money. It's you know, everybody remember Hal Furman, go back in the Wayback Machine?
Right.
He only came to Nevada to run for U.S. Senate because it was only going to cost him $1 million. I mean, that's how much it's changed.
Yeah, that's consultant money now.
Right, that's, yeah, well, no, that might be the money for the guy that opens the car now.
One of the big races that you're involved in, you've been a big supporter of Sigal Chattah.
Yes.
Your thoughts on where that race is at this point?
Well, first of all, you know, you had Amy Tarkanian on your show, you know, and you never want to call anyone a liar, but you know, she certainly has a problem with the truth, and you know.
In what way?
Well, you know, the truth and her, you know, don't live in the same neighborhood. In the fact that she came on here, first of all, she called Sigal Chattah a racist, okay, which is.
And she's part of Republicans for Aaron Ford.
Right, but it's just a blatantly untrue statement. You know, Sigal Chattah is black, Aaron Ford is black. You have a white woman who you can make an argument that she's a racist with the stuff that she's done on Facebook with her husband, calling a black man very articulate. So it's very disappointing. But look, Amy's got a reputation of being called Angry Amy. And she's angry because Sigal Chattah did not support her husband for Congress. She's angry at another politician who didn't support her husband. And she's angry at she came on and made these absolute outlandish false statements that the only reason her husband lost because the congressional committee came in and put a certain amount of money in the last couple of weeks of the race.
Yeah, she talked about $500,000,
Yeah.
and it was difficult, to be honest.
Well, first of all, that's not true. It wasn't $500,000. It wasn't anywhere near $500,000.
Well, that was going to be my point.
Right.
Was that she claimed that Kevin McCarthy's PAC had put in $500,000 in the week or 2 weeks before the election. It would be incredibly difficult to spend that amount of money in northern Nevada.
Well, it wasn't true,
in that short of a period of time.
And I don't know the exact number, but I know it was under $50,000. But that last-minute ads that were put up by McCarthy's PAC did not wipe out a 30-point lead that Mark Amodei had.
Did you ever understand why Danny Tarkanian ran that race? Because it seemed, that Mark Amodei had been a favorite son, not only in Douglas County and Carson City, but all across northern Nevada, and from his time as a state party chair.
Sam, it's all about Amy. Danny probably had no desire to run. Amy wants to be important. She made him run. Look, Amy met Danny, met the Tarkanian family, who was royalty in Clark County because of Coach Tarkanian.
Oh, let's.
Oh no, Danny.
No.
Listen,
George.
Listen,
George,
Sam,
please.
Danny is never been accused by anybody of being a smart kid.
George, let's not go down that road.
Well,
okay. I'm sorry. Let's not go down that road.
Listen,
I'm happy to hear opinions, but we don't need derogatory comments.
It's
like
not.
that.
Listen, I have to sit and watch Amy come on and she said Sigal Chattah was fired as the planning commissioner in Las Vegas. A blatant lie. Here's Sigal. I had all this stuff pulled. Here's Sigal Chattah's paper. This is a document that shows her certificate of appointment, when she was appointed and when her term ended. She served her full term. Okay, no one fired her. Here's the day of her votes on the last day of her full term, and then she said, Victoria Seaman fired her and couldn't stand her. Then why did Victoria Seaman appear on Sigal Chattah's list of people when Sigal announced she was running for Attorney General?
This is a fundraiser that the Piero family put together.
Yes. The problem is it's a constant thing with the Tarkanians, Danny and Amy, constantly lying. They're vicious towards people that don't agree with them. I mean, the only thing that Sigal Chattah ever did to Amy Tarkanian did not support her husband, because Sigal is friends. She never said one negative thing about Danny Tarkanian. I just did, and you beat me up for it, but that's my opinion. I think that they're grifters. He's ran for every office in the state, okay? He's finally got elected up here after he somehow,
he won a seat on the Douglas County Commission
with the help, because they wanted to get rid of someone else. They're like, I don't know, they're just like grifters. And I just don't like it when, it's just very frustrating to have to listen to someone make these blatant lies about a lady who's got an impeccable record. Sigal Chattah is a very, very talented attorney. She's got an impeccable record. She's a very sweet lady. And Amy comes on and disparages her and then says, oh, well, Sam, I'll provide you the documentation. Never provide you the documentation. And look, that's my opinion. I know you disagree with me, and I'm not going to apologize for what I said, because that's what I believe.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll turn our attention to other topics after this timeout.
Washington's reckless, irresponsible spending is costing Nevadans plenty, and Senator Catherine Cortez Masto has also voted for spending that's even more reckless, allowing COVID relief checks to go to convicted criminals in prison, including the Boston Marathon bomber, a Michigan sex abuser, murderers, and drug dealers, and voting to let COVID checks go to illegal immigrants. tell Senator Cortez Masto to start voting against reckless and wasteful spending to stop inflation.
Ahern Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com. I'm here at the Carson Valley Inn in Minden with Joey Whitaker. Entertainment here at the Carson Valley Inn is extraordinary.
Yeah, super proud of the TJ's Corral, our outdoor venue, about 1,500 seats. We've had first-class entertainment out there. We've had Merle Haggard, we've had Chris Young, we've had Lee Brice a couple times, we've had Pat Benatar, Joan Jett, who's in the Hall of Fame. We're real proud out there, and it's just a great time. Watch CarsonValleyInn.com and grab those tickets early. It's not a long way to get away to the Carson Valley Inn.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with George Harris. He's the chairman of Nevadans for Sound Government. He's been thoroughly whipped during the commercial break here.
I'm going to behave, Sam. I apologize. You're right. No.
Let's talk about the Attorney General's race. I thought that the Attorney General acquitted himself well on the program. He did say that he refuses to be seen in the same room as Sigal Chattah because of her remarks, that he considers them to be racist, that where he comes from, hanging somebody from a crane would be considered racist. And so there will be no debate. I went through that interview with a fine-tooth comb and then gave Sigal the opportunity to respond, and I thought that she responded very well.
Because Sam, look, Aaron Ford has consistently used the race card since he's been involved in politics, period, okay? And I'm a brown guy. I'm Mexican, okay? So now I'm sure I'm going to be called racist. Sigal Chattah's black. He's black. She's not a racist.
For those that may not have seen the show, she is a Yemenite Jew, which is a dark-skinned.
No, it's they're the blacks of the Jews, okay? But let's talk about, let's pull the onion back and get to the stink. Oh, I'm not going to be in a room with her. You're not going to be in a room with her because if you're in a room with her, you have to answer questions that you don't want to answer, okay? Like, you know, why did your office allow the libertarian candidate who does not qualify to run for Attorney General continue to stay on the ballot?
Is that not an issue of the Secretary of State's office?
No.
Because this has been brought up to me several times now in the last few days by other people beyond yourself, that there is a candidate for Attorney General who is not an attorney.
That's okay. So John T. Kennedy filed for attorney for.
And by the way, I do not have facts on this. This is just what has been called into me.
Right.
And
so
obviously it could have.
So here's what happens, Sam, is if there's a third party in the race, which is what Aaron Ford wants, they siphon votes, okay? And Aaron Ford wouldn't be the Attorney General today if there was not a third party in the race when in his previous race. But there was a third party, and the Republican candidate lost by less than a point, okay? This man is not qualified to run, and yes, it does go through Secretary of State, but the Attorney General's office represents the Secretary of State, and they're not doing anything about it.
All right, so why do you think that the Secretary of State has not made an issue of this, and it apparently is going to appear
that's not true. I spoke to the Secretary of State's office. They brought it up. They made an opinion, but they're not the attorneys. The attorney is the Attorney General's office, who represents the Secretary of State, and the Secretary of State, first of all, blows my mind. Here's the qualifications, very easy.
But all right, let's go through this here, because you're making an accusation, and it's an important accusation if it were true.
No, it's a factual accusation.
If it were true, which is that you're claiming that the office of the Attorney General, the people who work under the Attorney General, are making a political statement here. And I could certainly understand if you were making an accusation, and I'm not saying it would be true either, that the Attorney General himself, but don't you think that would have leaked out if there was that kind of political opportunism?
Sam, here's the nonsense, okay? The nonsense is it's very clear in the law. The law says in NRS 228.010, qualifications to run for Attorney General. No person shall be eligible to the office of Attorney General unless the person has attained the age of 30 years at the time of such election, is qualified as an elector and been a citizen of the state for 3 years preceding the next election, is a member of the State Bar of Nevada in good standing. This man is none of those. When he filed, the Secretary of State should have said, are you a member of the State Bar? It would have been an easy yes or no question, and they should have verified. If that's the law that says that's the qualifications, it's not Segal Chada's responsibility to bring it up. But so Segal then filed a complaint when she found out this man was not an attorney, and they sent her a letter, the Secretary of State's office, through the Attorney General, they were represented by the Attorney General, saying the Secretary of State's office has finished its review of the election integrity violation report received July 26, specifically the allegation asserting that John Kennedy is not qualified to run for Attorney General. Pre-election candidate qualification challenges must be made within a time frame. What? If you just found, what do you mean it must? They're telling her the reason they're not going to take this guy off the ballot because she should have told them. It's her responsibility to tell them he's not qualified, even though they're the ones who you have to go and file and raise your right arm with. But somehow now it's the candidate that's running responsibility on the 5th of April. How would they know if he was an attorney or not? It just came out.
Oh, okay.
So that's the facts, Sam.
Okay, but it seems to me, from what you're saying, that the blame would lie with the Secretary of State's office, not the Attorney General's office.
Sam, I don't know why. I don't know why you can't get this. No. The Secretary of State is represented legally by the Attorney General.
I understand, but
it's the Attorney General's office, the attorney from the Attorney General's office who wrote the statement and represents the Secretary of State.
But said it was a time issue.
Which is total nonsense, Sam. Are you kidding me? So, Sam, this guy over here murdered this guy, but we just found out factually he murdered him. But since we didn't tell you 6 months ago that he murdered him, he's off the hook. Come on, Sam. And it's a form of voter fraud. They're allowing a person. Sam, the law is there's no ambiguity in the law. I can never say that word. There's no argument. The man's he's not a member of the state bar. He's not in good standing. He's not qualified to run by the law.
So,
and
I think your appearance today will certainly raise this issue beyond the letters that you're referring to.
I absolutely hope it does, because it's absolutely repugnant, okay, that an elected official who's the Attorney General of the state of Nevada knowingly is allowing a guy who can't qualify to be the Attorney General to stay on the ballot so they can siphon votes away from the other candidate.
Okay, if the Attorney General has not recused himself, which I would presume he had done from this kind of decision making within his office. I'm making a point there.
I don't have my rose-colored glasses.
It's up to the Attorney General and his office to come forth with a statement after this to say what the actual situation is. Let's take another break.
Okay.
Just relax a little, and we'll be right back after this timeout.
Leaders find solutions. Politicians are part of the problem. Take Catherine Cortez Masto and Adam Laxalt. Cortez Masto co-sponsored a bill capping insulin costs. Adam Laxalt called a plan that caps costs reckless. No surprise, Laxalt is personally invested in big drug companies. When they make money, he makes money. That's the difference. Catherine Cortez Masto is lowering the cost of drugs. Adam Laxalt, sells out and cashes in. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Events Center in Las Vegas. Host meetings and events on 2 floors. Stay in luxurious rooms and suites. Unlimited branding opportunities. Regional Italian cuisine by Chef Mark Segrisi. Flexible event spaces. Full buyout options. Visit ahernhotel.com today.
Hi, I'm Renee Summerauer, digital news anchor here at 7 at 7. Watch our streaming nonstop newscast immediately with your mobile phone. 7 at 7 is the new way for you to get every bit of local news you need in just 7 minutes. Breaking news, local neighborhood news, weather, and sports are just a click away. Reporters bring you all of what's happening in the Valley. From Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and more. Get every bit of local news you need from the RJ and LVRJ.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with George Harris. He's the chairman of Nevadans for Sound Government. And for all the people that you have attacked on the program so far today,
yes,
I want to make the point that all of them are welcome to come back on the program and to rebut and respond to the remarks you
I
made.
would love for them all to come and
I have
rebut.
no problem with that whatsoever. In a sense of fairness. Okay, so if we go back 6 months or a year, we were talking about the potential for a red wave across the state of Nevada, and in fact across the country. That seems to have disappeared.
Do you think? Of course it's disappeared. Because you have nonsense like this going on. First of all, there's manipulation. Sam, I showed you documentation.
Okay,
there is
Hang
manipulation.
on. We're done with this.
No, Sam, this is a voter fraud issue.
We've put the issue out there. It's up to the Secretary of State's office and the Attorney General's office if they wish to respond, and then we can talk more about this before Election Day if nothing is resolved. So let's put that aside. Let's talk about the potential for a red wave that has disappeared, and I would say to you that it was the Supreme Court's decision on abandoning Roe that gave the Democrats the leg up that they're seeing now.
And I would agree with you. Look, I'm pro-life, okay? But facts are facts, okay? A majority of the people that vote in this country, I apologize, a majority of the people that vote in this country are female, okay? Now, here's what nobody...
By what percentage?
I think females vote like 8.5% to 9% more than males, okay? But whether you're pro-life or pro-choice, it's about women being angry by the fact that there's a perceived notion that the government is again interfering in their lives. And look,
it's not a perceived, it's a reality.
Well, but 44% of Republican women identify themselves as pro-choice. Okay, 93% of Democrat women, say they're pro-choice, and I believe it's 47. I'm wrong on this number, but it's in the high 40s for independent women. That doesn't mean that they're not pro-life in their own. They just feel that I wish everybody was pro-life. I can't believe anybody would be pro-death, but I think that it's the key issue of what's caused the slip for Republicans.
Yeah, all I can say to you is this, that I can't imagine for one moment anybody telling my mother or my wife what they could do with their body. And I can't imagine anybody trying to tell me what I could do with my body. So I do understand the feelings that are out there, and whether you're pro-life or not, I think it's a question of, should somebody else be telling you or passing laws to say what you can or cannot do with your body? And I understand that there are a tremendous amount of people who are on the other side of that issue. I'm just making the point about me and the people I deal with.
Well, look, I'm very pro-life, and I'm very proud.
And that's fine.
I'm very proud to say I'm pro-life.
And that's the other part that is important, which is, in this country still, thank goodness, we have the ability not only to disagree, but to disagree agreeably if we choose to, as you and I do, because we are longtime friends, for those that may not know, despite what we've gone through the last 20 minutes, that you and I are very close friends. But that's the beauty of our system, and I think that if we could get more of this out there, that this country will be in a lot better shape than the two teams that we're divided into, that are constantly battling.
The other problem is that the far left is unhinged and the far right is unhinged, and everybody that's center right and people that are in the middle are just tired of it. They're tired of, they're just tired.
Which is why you have so many independents and nonpartisans.
And they have fatigue. But one of the first things you brought up is, hey, Joe Biden wants to, just wipe $10,000 off education things. Well, you know what? When you sign contracts, you got to pay your bills. And if you can't afford to pay your bills and your whole life's ruined, then you file for bankruptcy.
Well, we also have a marketing problem in this country, which is that we market to people to sell them all kinds of things that they don't necessarily need, which is most homes have multiple televisions, multiple cars. When you and I were kids, if you had one car, you were incredibly lucky, and everybody crowded around the one television, and not everybody had their own phone. Listen, we are out of time. I love you. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
And you're welcome. And as I said earlier, all the people that you have gone after, if they wish to respond and rebut,
I hope Angry Amy
enough,
comes. I hope the Attorney General comes, and I certainly hope someone from the Attorney General's office and the Secretary of State comes to explain why they are advocating blatant voter fraud.
Okay, unless you're buying time on the show, I have to go because we have to make some money. George Harris, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you. And we'll be right back.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
It's the $150,000 Island Time giveaways going on now at Tamarack Casino. Win up to $10,000 in weekly cash and free play giveaways, and over $50,000 in grand prize giveaways, including Hawaiian vacations. It's the $150,000 Island Time giveaways at Tamarack Casino.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at NevadaNewsmakers.com. You can also check our archive going back to 2005 on our website, again, NevadaNewsmakers.com.